how iconic it is to experience that Royal Enfield thump in the BS6 era. Now, all the previous Royal Enfield BS6 bikes were missing something quite essential which Royal Enfield is known for. Yes, that thump. So Royal Enfield have indeed managed to preserve that thump somehow in its BS6 engine as well. And here we are reviewing right now the brand new Royal Enfield Meteor 350. It was launched over last Friday, the 6th of November that is. This is the first Royal Enfield bike having a J frame, which was the talk of the town for some time now. It comes with an entirely re-engineered and redeveloped chassis which was calling itself for a very long time. Basically, the Meteor series is supposed to replacing the Thunderbird X series which was discontinued post the BS4 norms. First thing you notice on this bike is the vibrant color scheme with the reds and the blues and the backs. It just looks really amazing. Just below the fuel tank sits the heart of any bike, its engine, and just by looking at it we might get a 650 twin sort of feels because this looks exactly the same engine downsized to 350 cc's. Now, what Royal Enfield has managed to do is they have added a counterbalance to this engine and they are claiming that the vibrations will be substantially less. And yes, sitting on the bike you do feel that it vibrates way less. Even it beats Himalayan in the term of refinements. This engine chunks out 20 horses and 27 Newton meters of torque at its peak. Though Royal Enfield says that 25 Newton meter of torque is available right after 2000 RPM, so going to the city traffic, this might be a cakewalk for this bike. Coming ahead to the suspension setup, so Royal Enfield has gone with twin forks at the front and twin emulsion shock absorbers at the rear. Now, the front setup looks quite smoother and sharper, but at the rear it tends to be quite on a harder bit. So, as I very much like to say, your pillion is going to have a very sore bum whenever you are trying to chug on those long miles. Though Thunderbird X came with an LED headlamp, Royal Enfield for some reasons have opted for an all halogen setup for this bike that includes the headlamp, the tail lamp and all the indicators as well. And as we all know, those halogens do lack that much of power or precision when it comes to very dark rides. Comparing to its other 350cc counterpart, the classic 350cc, it comes with an alloy wheel as an accessory, so we can opt out to have alloy wheels on our bikes at some additional cost. But for this bike, Royal Enfield has included those alloy wheels in stock bike, so you will get those tubeless tires and radial at that. Coming over to the seat setups, those seats are placed quite plush and handy, and though it doesn't give you that sofa like experience, but it's quite nice and decent when you try to sit on it. And finally, the instrument cluster on this bike. So Royal Enfield has gone with all integrated switches. So on the left hand side you will get an integrated high beam and pass switch, and on the right hand side it gets integrated engine kill, engine start and ignition switch, as what I would like to call it. And for the HUD or heads-up display panel, they have gone with two asynchronous pods. So one pod is your main pod, the bigger one. It is an analog digital meter. The speedometer is still an analog unit, and all other information is nicely placed in a compact digital meter inside it. So this meter will finally tell you fuel gauge on a Royal Enfield 350cc bike. So you have a fuel gauge, you have a trip meters, you have gear position indicator, and you have got time, but no range indicator yet. You know, sometimes I feel that Royal Enfield should integrate it, and it would be really nice to have a guess on how much kilometers I can still cover with all the fuel that left in my bike. But apart from that, it's look quite decent. And on its right hand side there is a smaller pod. Now this pod is specifically designed to connect your smartphone and have navigation. So RE like to call it the tripper navigation system, which gives you a step-by-step navigation, and when your navigation is not working, this informs you regarding what is the current time. Coming to the fuel tank, it's because of the fuel tank that this bike weighs way less at just 181 kgs. Though it's still on the heavier side, but compared to other Royal Enfield bikes, that's quite a huge cut in terms of weights. But this fuel tank will provide you only around 15 liters of capacity compared to the 20 liters that we used to get on Thunderbird series. And coming to the main question, as we are talking about the fuel tank, what is the mileage? So Royal Enfield claims that this bike will give you somewhere around 40 to 45 kilometers per liter in average scenarios. Now again, all these figures are recorded in riding the bike in eco mode, which is not always possible, so we have to take it with a grain of salt when we are considering company provided figures for average and everything. And finally, for the verdict, though this bike is way nice and upgrade and it's soothing to the eye, I feel that Royal Enfield might have improved on certain aspects of this bike. Though I agree that this time they have gone back to the drawing board and nailed it at the basics, but still we feel that some things could have still been way more improved. Like as I said, a range indicator on the display, or let's say a monoshock suspension setup, so that even the pillion or even the rider might feel that comfort, or a bit more like that sofa like experience while riding a bike and chugging those long miles. And yeah, that's all. I can't even think of other backdrops of this bike. It's just so amazing to ride it. And with that, I will end today's video. See you again with some more entertaining and fun concepts. Till then, keep watching my channel, like this video, share it, and if you haven't still done it, subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss some new videos. Thank you.